Today I prepared a video collection about the topic Rover Canter. And not any Rover Canter. The plan is that the horse is already a bit collected. So the plan is that the canter is already slowed down in shorter steps because, as you all know, it's the escape gait, the flight gait. So usually the canter is fast in big steps. And the challenge is if the rider then is sitting on, then the joints and the tendons and ligaments really can get damaged. And the plan is that we really strengthen the horse's muscles, so that the tendons, ligaments are really getting a break, that we really protect them as good as possible. So the aim is really slowing the gait down, shorten the steps so that the muscles take all of the pressure and that the horse can't get any hurt. And my plan with this video today is that I give you a little introduction, how this can look like, how you can start, what are the prerequisites, what are the pre or subtasks, how can you take them apart if you feel like you have to go a step back, or if you feel like this step is good, what is the next step? And of course, I also want to talk with you about what are the horse traits, human traits you need, and what tasks are required. But before I talk about this a bit more, I show you a short sequence, what it's about, how this looks like. And you will see here, go to the beginning of the video, Ludwig and me, how it looks like kind of today. So he starts kind of in a school canter, which has a bit more facades. I don't know the English word for this right now. So you see really more if it's left or right canter. And here it was really a clear 4-beat. Here it's more towards 2-beat. It's more called terre-à-terre. And both is already really good. So this is the direction I want to take you. And I know that I could imagine that some of you now say, I'm not ready for this and this is way too high for me. And my goal with this video is really to take this fear away, to get you more courageous, to say, hey, okay, there's a pathway I can follow. There's a step-by-step program. And yeah, my plan is to talk with you about these prerequisites. So the first thing what you need to get this started, this process, is that you have your horse almost centered in the first 6 threads of requisite. This means we need the horse courageous, compliant, calm, attentive, maintaining gait and direction, and sensitive. This means especially sensitive, that if you ask your horse something with body or also support energy is okay, that the horse is really instantly reacting on a phase 1. So these are the horse traits which are really helpful when you want to start with this. Then in the human, of course, we need the human really calm. The human should have a good focus, a good plan, what to do, and what to do with the equipment, where to be as a human person, what to ask from the horse, what are the subtasks, what is the next task. And then, of course, I need super awareness, timing, and of course, super feeling, good empathy for the horse when you start such a challenging journey. And then, if we talk about the task, so before I start the rover in canter, I would check, can I ask a shoulder in and walk along the trail, along the rail? Then I would ask the same in rover, similar like Ludwig is positioned here. This means hindquarter is directly next to the rail on the first track. And I take the front end a bit into me to the, depending, second or third track with a slight right bend in this case if I'm on the left hand. So if I can do this, a shoulder in and a rover along the rail, I would check, can I ask my horse to shorten the steps? First you can do this straight, and then I would check it in shoulder in and rover. So this means that you can already get a little bit of collection in the horse in the rover. This means shorter steps, slower steps, and already with a little bit of weight shift. So some weight comes up and back to the hindquarter, that the horse already kind of gets a bit lighter in the front. So when you can do this, it's also really helpful when you start this process with canter, if you have a little sign for canter, like some people use noises like or this can be really helpful. I know the plan is that we don't use this noise constantly or forever, but if you start it and if you make this process as understandable and simple for your horse, then this makes everything much more easy. So sometimes it's good, like a little start head. Okay, then I show you just a little step, what I talked about, that I started this rover canter in rover walk, of course, first in a lower gait and along the rail. So just a short look how this can look like. Here you can see Ludwig already shows short steps, quite slow. If you can do this, and all of this doesn't have to be perfect, just that you think, okay, it's good enough that I have a little test if I can go one step further. Now here you see a sequence, this is a bit older, like 1.5 years ago, where we just started. Like this was one of the first sessions. And in the principle now is like the same like always. Like if you start something new, just ask one step and then break. And this is what you see here. I started in the rover, asked then for the canter, so I went up my body energy in my box. And if necessary, I can support with a noise or even with a whip in the support zone. And as soon as he does one step, I can be just really heavy and give him a break. Then I repeat this a few times. And if I quite safe get my one jump, then I can go a step further and does 2 jumps and pause. And then 3 jumps. And then I give him a break. And here now, if you have a little bit a look to his technique, so he does a super good job in offering short canter steps and slow. But then he can also say, hey, Franzi, it's not really a canter. Yeah, okay, I agree, because he's kind of jumping with the front end and the hind legs are more walking. But also no problem for the beginning because every progress is super and everything else can improve later as well. And then even if he is almost centered in the first 6 traits, he's not really strong in his body yet. So you also will recognize that in the old video, like this one, his body really looks different, like in the newer videos. And therefore you see how he really has to leverage with his head and neck to get the front up and get the weight back without this speed he has. So here you see the hind legs walking and how much he has to use the head and neck to get himself up. So this is now a few months later where he already is much more strong, coordination is better, he can do more jumps in a row, a better technique, slower, really little steps, like if you look here, he really does only a few centimeters. And his normal canter step length is a bit bigger, so it's really super what he does. And then here another highlight, he also goes towards levad and sits down and holds, and yeah, what can I say, so cool, really happy. So my plan, I hope it worked, that I could give you a little idea how to start that, what are the prerequisites, and what are the subtasks, what to do and what to expect. And the most important thing is that it's not necessary that the horse or a human is already perfect up front. I mean, it's impossible. You have to start somewhere, and if your horse is kind of centered in the first 5-6 traits, it's really good enough. And if you think you're ready for it, and I mean, just give it a go. Start with only shoulder in and walk, rover and walk, then ask for build collection, then ask for 1 canter steps. And yeah, I'm really excited to hear what you think about this, and I'm looking forward to hear from you.